Greetings from Mihalak Outdoors. I am officially open for the 2026 food plotting and habitat season. A video on some of the products I have in stock. Everybody's looking for something different, and I try to have a wide variety of products that fit everyone's needs and habitat requirements. So I have Eagle Seed in stock. You'll see that right above my shoulder right there. I have Buckhead Wildlife. That is a new product I'm carrying this year. Carried some last year, sold out. The Briar Ridge line, I love that line. It has been gently put aside and kind of consumed by the bags behind me. It's now Deer Creek. I have Ring Seed in stock, and I also have Real World Wildlife products in stock. I have some right there. I'm still waiting for the main shipment. I do have Miscanthus in stock. It is $107 for the 100 count rhizome bag. I have 5 bags of that. So Miscanthus is used for screening. It's used for bedding, along with switchgrass. There's a bag of switchgrass right there behind me. Miscanthus will grow 10, 12 feet high. Switchgrass here, at least in our soils, without fertility, you're looking at a good 5, 6 feet, just depending on where you are in your ground. But I have all of those things in stock. I've got some other screening products right here, some sorghums and Sudan grasses and such. But a quick rundown of what I have on my shelves. Over here, I call this my clover world. I have blends. One of my favorite blends is Horn Honey Clover, which is that one right there. I have premium whites. I have Triple Treat, which is all annuals. I have if you're looking for a touch of alfalfa in that, I have something called Bee Clover. I do sell a lot of all-site clover. It does well in our very wet soils. Bags of chicory. I have full bags of 50-pound bags of purple top turnips. The new Twister Brassica that's out, supposed to have longer root systems. I have a 50-pound bag of Brassica Boost. Brassica Boost is purple top turnips and tillage radish for those that want just a more bulby blend. I do have that in half-acre bags. I have 50-pound bags of rye. And what I do is I set my shelf up from kind of left to right. I go from my clover world to something called Buck's Banquet, which is like half clover, half brassicas. It's a popular blend. Lots of guys plant it, especially if you don't want grasses in the spring, like rye and wheat and oats. Rye can be an issue. It's a great thing if you have a roller crimper and you can drill through it, but the biomass is really something you have to deal with. So I go from clover to half and half to something called Rut and Ready. All brassicas, all leafy things. So collards and purple top turnips and tillage radish and kale, a great blend. That is something I about sell out of every year. On the next shelf down, this is my custom blend that I make. I call it my fall overseed mix. It's an excellent price point. They're 5-pound bags. Typically, brassicas, you seed them at about 6 to 8 pounds an acre, depending on which one you're looking at. This kind of is used in conjunction with my exclusive bean and buckwheat mix right here. And I'll show that bag to you in a moment. I do have both my December rifle blend and my October blend in stock, both in 1/4 acre bags and in 50-pound bags. I have bags of winter wheat. So that's kind of this shelf. My soybean supply is this. I have my Rank Enlist soybeans right here. I do have some extra bags. If someone is looking for an Enlist soybean, you can spray it with glufosinate, glyphosate, and the 2,4-D choline, which I have in stock and I'll show. But a great bean. The latest maturity I carry is a 3.8. I do have some earlier maturities, but we have found that this is a great bean for our soils. The deer absolutely love it. I like these beans. I have my October blend right here. Here's my October blend. I have my December blend. So what's the difference? My October blend typically shines a little bit earlier, but if you work everything backwards, as you should in food plotting, my December blend will stay green all the way through January, into February, and it will kind of bolt back up in the spring. Now, that one does have rye in it. My October blend does not. That one has oats, but it does have a cold hardy oat. Whether they make it, so that's totally another conversation. But I have a buckwheat and bean mix. A few years back, there was a kind of a trend for planting buckwheat. The problem is when you planted your buckwheat in June, and then in July, when you were beginning of August, you'd come back in and throw some small brassica seeds in and you'd run it over. Well, it formed a grape mat and nothing would grow. And I had numerous people come in that year and say, that didn't work. So this is something, these beans in this particular bag are Roundup ready. So you plant it as you do, wait till the end of July, spray it with Roundup, melts the buckwheat, the beans are standing. Now, it's not always perfect, and if Mother Nature gets involved and says, I'm not gonna rain, we're gonna have problems with this. But if it does rain, and if your soil has been tilled, and there's little pockets, your brassicas have little areas to grow in. I have 10 bags of that for sale currently. I have the Briar Ridge GT1 soybeans right there, a great blend. They're a 4.7 maturity, big leaves, big pods, stand nicely in our snow. A great bean, shot a very nice buck in those. I have customers loving them, killing big ones in them. That's kind of that sleeper blend. My Enlist beans are actually the least expensive. This would come next. The Real World beans, 4 different beans in a bag. Lots of customers who love the Real World beans. That's next in line. And then at the top of the list are my Eagle beans. This is the manager's mix. It is the Midwest version. 3 Group 7s. They stay green. I've had them green in November under a gentle snowfall. Now, if we get a lot of snow, they don't do great. But you know what? They are, as far as a green forage is concerned, the first 2 weeks of archery, I don't know if there's anything better. I can get deer to walk through about everything I plant, unfortunately, including my October blend, to go to beans. Now, with that being said, if your deer come out and wipe them out, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just the way it is. But I can usually get away with it. I have enough beans here, but once you plant Eagle Seed soybeans, you have to try. And I tell everyone, you know what? Try them once or twice. You'll probably get away with it the first time, but once they find them the second time, they're not letting them out of the ground. You might have to fence them. They grow 4 feet high, but if you do a side-by-side, they win. Now, I have not done a side-by-side between my Rank and my Eagle. I know what both can do, and we'll do a side-by-side this year, and we'll just see where they end up. If you need anything custom blended, I do have my Pennsylvania seed license. We can put it in the seed mixer of death right here, and we can mix any custom blend up you'd prefer, whether it's rye, oats, wheat. All my prices, I locked in prices back in February. So again, if you look at these prices, everything I have is a fertilizer that's coated. Everything has something. It's just not straight fertilizer. My phosphorus has something called Free Up on it. Keeps the phosphorus from locking up with the other molecules in the soil. Makes it more readily available for your plants. My 0060 has something called Duo Max on it. Again, a large carbon molecule, helps stimulate root growth, keeps that fertilizer from tying up with the soil. My 1919 is a premium 1919. It is also coated with Duo and has a micronutrient package mixed in it. My corn was 12 feet tall last year. That's the 1919 I used. I also have a nitrogen with sulfur coated with Excellus Max. Again, a coating that helps stimulate roots, keeps the fertilizer from being tied up and or volatilizing into the air. Again, a great product. Used it on my corn. I have a premium legume fertilizer. Too much for this video, but put it this way. It has something called Blue Phos. You can research it on your own, and NutriRise. I don't know if there is a better legume fertilizer made anywhere, and I back it up with the technology from TMAC. It is a fantastic blend. It stimulates microbes in the soil, stimulates fungi in the soil, and this is when you start talking how the roots talk to the bacteria. This stuff does it. So a fantastic bag. I also have something called Humaflor. It is right here. This helps break down organic matter. If you had a pasture with cow manure, horse manure, you can put it there. It helps break and stimulate that organic matter down, and has all kinds of micronutrients and a different type of calcium. Mined, so to say, from a marine bed other than limestone deposits under the earth. So my Paul Pollock supplies, I have some in my own custom bottles this year I've kind of tinkered with to make them a little bit more mine. All kinds of cover crop seeds. I have Silo Buster pea and oat mix. I have sunflowers in 50-pound bags. I have buckwheat. I have Soil First 102 cover starter mix. This has tillage radish, crimson clover, and rye. Straight cold hardy oats. I have some wetland waterfowl mixes in stock. My Buckhead Wildlife, we did some analysis on this particular corn, and it's legit. It is a higher oil corn. The deer really seem to like it. I also have a high oil corn blend with soybeans from them. We're trying this year. I have not used this. I have the old standby, my rank corn, the RK771, a great corn, huge ears, giant ears. Not bad for a food plotter. My best yield estimate was a 240 bushel yield, and that's just for deer. So that's been a strong performer here on the farm. 108 day. Deer love it. They love the soft, tender ears of the later corn. It is a silage corn. I have all kinds of liquids and chemicals in stock for those that are in need of those things. I have things to help your roots grow. I have things to help your plant tolerate the stresses of summer. I have something I would call a farmer's miracle grow. It is a Corona blend. It's called Corona K or Corona N. You can use it for either beans or for corn. I love that stuff. That stuff really, the Fertiactyl is a great product. These two are awesome. They mix in water. You dissolve them. I have Clethodim. I have the Enlist products, both Enlist Duo and Enlist One. Enlist Duo is the 2,4-D choline with glyphosate mixed, and the Enlist One is just by itself. Again, the only over-the-top 2,4-D mixes that you can spray on the Enlist beans post-emerge. I do have Bullseye HLK. That is the full-strength glyphosate, and you're talking 22 ounces per acre. 22, not 2 quarts an acre, but 22 ounces an acre. I do have the LV 2,4-D low volatility. I like that stuff. It doesn't bother me. I do have some flumoxazin in stock, Butarac, Clethodim, and crop oil. So and fertilizers out back. And I have tons and tons of that and lime. I do have some sprayers just in case you need a quick sprayer for your Clethodim. I do have some custom hats and shirts in stock. Pretty fancy, nice rank hat. Thank you, Amy. But if you need something, food plotting, habitat, words of wisdom, a walkthrough, reach out. I've been doing this a long time. We have owned the farm 20 years this year, and I have put a tremendous amount of time and effort into the wildlife that I have here. So, a proud dad moment right there. What a great deer at the taxidermist still. So hopefully I'll have it back by the Albion Fair. Not sure how I'm shipping it to North Dakota yet, but that's my son's buck. What a great deer. Just a tremendous deer. What a beautiful doe he shot. So we look at these as every deer is a trophy. It doesn't make a difference. Every deer is a trophy. And I love making sure that they're fed, and they have plenty of natural browse here, but I like to supplement their their food and give them everything they need. So, words of wisdom from the pole barn. Reach out if you need something. Again, miscanthus is in stock. I have apple trees coming. They should be shipping here shortly. So, and along with my other real world stuff. So, hey, food plotting season's around the corner. Reach out if you need something. Kevin, Mihalak Outdoors.